he would step across the line. Habitually, he's a habitual line stepper.
You make me happy. Thank you all for joining us on the Habitual Line Steppers podcast. I am Garrett Charles Langley Henson.
And I am Terry Ricardo DeShazo the second. What's up? And you always know, before we get started, you see that subscribe button? Hit it. Hit the button. Like the video. Leave a comment, baby. We talk back. It's just me and him. Don't be scared. Don't be scared, baby. What's on the docket today, man?
It's a whole community of two people. On the docket for today, guys, we're going to start off talking NBA. Karl Anthony Towns just is traded to the New York Knicks for Julius Randle. We're going to start the show off with that. Big time Knicks fan here in the house with Terry DeShazo. Then we're going to move to the NFL, talk about some of the storylines from this week. And then finally, we're going to kind of check in now that we're a quarter away through the season, see who's winning each division, who's legit, who might get supplanted as we look ahead for the rest of the season. So with no further ado, Terry, let's get right to it. Your New York Knicks were the center of attention this whole week. They acquired Karl Anthony Towns from the Timberwolves and are sending back Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, Keita Bates-Diop, and a protected first-round pick from the Pistons to the Timberwolves. The Hornets get some random bullshit out of this trade. I'm not sure why they participated in this in the first place. We don't need to talk about the Charlotte Hornets. They're not relevant.
Irrelevant.
Terry, you're a huge Knicks fan. Tell us how you feel, first of all, and then we'll deconstruct the rest.
Look, first thought, honest to God, when I saw it, I was like, damn, we let go of DiVincenzo. Not gonna lie. I wasn't even super excited Randall was gone. I wasn't super excited Cat was coming. I was like, damn, we got to lose DiVincenzo. I get it. NBA, the contracts have to make sense for guys to go. But I was like, damn, we lost a good shooter. I know he's coming off a contract year. He wants to get paid. He wants more minutes and all that type of shit. I get it. So he had to go. Second, though, Randall. Thank you. You did a great job. But in the playoffs, my God, did you stink it up. So sorry to see you go. You know what I'm saying? You revitalized us because we were dormant for a while. He was a part of a nice restructure program. Shout out to all the Wildcat guys in our front office that helped us get him and, improved our squad. But he sucked in the playoffs. It is what it is. I don't know if he was going to work with us, with the new Nova Knicks. Don't think he was invited to the group chats. Him, Brunson, and Hart. I think Hart, Brunson, and Bridges probably, not.
He hasn't been on their podcast at all, has he?
I don't think so. But he's been recovering through his injury and shit. He's really only been on one podcast, Paul George. I saw him on Paul George's podcast once. I'm not sure if he's been on. There's so many podcasts, so he's probably been on another one, but I don't think he was.
They're like,
on,
what are you working on this offseason, Julius? My triple threat moves for sure. Number one thing I need to work on.
Ball hogging, black holing, no assists. But no,
I went back and watched Carmelo's tape from Syracuse. That's what I was grinding.
Facts. You know what? He might have went on their pod too. But besides the point, I'm gonna miss him. I liked him. A little bit of a malcontent. When it wasn't going his way towards the end, when Brunson started to emerge as a top 15 guy. But it is what it is. Cat coming though. I'm surprised that was my third thought when I saw it. I was like, dang, we get Cat. But at the same time, we lost Hartenstein. Mitchell Robinson gets hurt a lot. So it's still, for me, it's still up in the air. I'm just like, shit, man, I don't know exactly how it's going to work because Cat does seem to disappear. I like Brunson a lot, but not a great defender. Cat is also not a great defender. So in my mind, I'm looking at are they going to pick and roll us to death with those two guys and we're going to get torched and give up a lot of points? Maybe. But look, we got a 20-10 dude on the squad. I'm not mad about it. I think he's got 3 years left on his deal. So the guys that we have on the team are locked in. Yeah. So the guys this team is locked in. This is the squad. Tibbs is going to play him 40 minutes a game. All right. I think we're going to be good. I'm kind of excited because of the names. I mean, am I going to be saying meow all year? I don't know. We'll see. I like Cat. He's slightly soft. I don't think he would agree with it, but it's okay, Cat. We don't all agree with our flaws. It's totally fine. Knicks, we might be back, man. It's gonna be a long road, tough road, but I think this Knicks team's got a chance to compete for a championship, to make the finals. I don't know about winning it, but we got a squad.
Do you support like pretty much blowing up the best Knicks team that you've had in 15 years? Like a team that everyone thought could push Boston and stylistically matched up really well with everybody. Seemed like they had finally found an identity that they can hang their hat on, and it had more success than any other season until like really you guys are ravaged by injuries at the end of the season.
Yeah.
I feel like that has a bigger impact on your playoff performance than anything else. It seemed like you guys were like finally getting it together and had an established identity. And you're like, oh, we're going to add Mikal Bridges and we're just going to supercharge what we have. And now it's like, wait a minute, we changed the whole identity of the team. Is Karl Anthony Towns going to be the stopper?
He fits, man.
That
nah, he fits.
We already saw him with Tibbs in Minnesota, and Tibbs looked like he was going to murder him 45 out of the 80 games.
I think that was more Jimmy Butler. I'll ask you after. I'll say this statement, and then I'll see like where you're at with it. I think for me, like, it's not much of a blow up per se because, look, bro, you got Brunson, Hart, Bridges, OG Anunoby, Karl Anthony Towns. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I love Hartenstein. Okay. You know, he does a lot for me. He was great. You're right. I didn't really know much about him before he came to the Knicks, but he was a great player. We lost him, but I mean, like, it's KAT, bro. Like, the game is stars. You know what I'm saying? Like, Hartenstein, good for you. You did a fucking great job, bro. But I'm getting 20 and 10. You know what I'm saying? Like, what am I supposed to do about that? I don't think it's a complete blow up because I'm not sure. We didn't see much of it, and they were good when Randle was there for a tiny bit of that stretch with the new guys, but he's not like a great 3-point shooter. I don't know how like the spacing would have worked and everything. He's more of an ISO dude. Tibbs loves him, so he was gonna play on the court. It's just Tibbs isn't a great offensive coach, so like I feel like pretty much every single, except for Hart, most of the guys, everybody on the team is a really good offensive player. So I don't know if we need like this Granzo scheme because these dudes. I don't think KAT's unselfish, and I don't think like. He's gonna shoot the fucking ball, but like,
or you don't think he is selfish?
No. I don't think. Yeah, that's what I meant. I don't think he's selfish. He's gonna shoot it. Like he's gonna get his shots up, but
I know he's unselfish because I've seen him throw no look passes to the corner to the other team 3 times in a row in one playoff game.
I just think like Anthony Edwards did draw a lot of attention, but everybody else on that team, you know, offensively, we were kind of unsure about Minnesota. It was a lot of stretches in Minnesota where they were like, oh, how are they gonna get 98 points tonight? How are they going to get 95 points? And this is NBA. If you're not scoring at least 105, it's going to be tough. Even we saw it even in the playoffs. Even though in the playoffs it's rough. So it's like this next team, the offense is looking good. I like it. I like the fit. I'll ask you, what do you think about the squad? I think they're good, man.
I think it makes sense from a roster construction standpoint in the fact that like you have no bigs. Like your centers, Mitchell Robinson is hurt. Josh Hartenstein left to go to Oklahoma City. Jericho Sims is the only center really on the roster who's healthy, and all he can do is catch lobs and
did we lose Precious Achiuwa?
No, you could throw him in there. I wouldn't really call him a 5 though. I'd call him like a stretch 4.
Yeah.
But so like this makes sense that you needed a 6'11" and up guy.
Yeah.
On the roster. Period. And if it wasn't going to be Karl Anthony Towns, it's probably going to be JT Thor or one of these guys like that. Nice. So from that perspective, I think it makes a lot of sense. However, I agree with what you said about the Knicks being locked into this roster. And if you look at this roster, those 5 guys that you mentioned, they're going to be, and this is in 2028.
Yeah.
You're going to be paying Towns over $60 million.
Yep.
You're going to be paying Anunoby $45 million.
Yep.
You're going to be paying Brunson $40 million.
Yep.
You're going to be paying Josh Hart $25 million. And Bridges is going to have an extension then that he's going to be out of contract by then. And that extension is going to be in the $40 to $55 million per season range. That is over $200 million dedicated to 5 players on your roster. 4 seasons from now. So this is the team. All right. This is the roster that we've constructed. This is the way it's going to go. They've kind of shot their wad. This is the big fish. This is who they went for. And this is what the team's going to look like for the foreseeable future. Now, in terms of the questions that I have, is Karl-Anthony Towns ready to handle Joel Embiid in the playoffs? Is Karl-Anthony Towns ready to handle Giannis Antetokounmpo coming at him for 7 games in a row in the playoffs?
He's coming.
Is he ready for Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, 2 different elite defending bigs, on him in the playoffs? Is he ready for the Orlando stifling defense with they got a tough defense. NBA's first pastor himself, Jonathan Isaac. Now that AJ Griffin is retired from basketball to praise God.
Yeah.
I see the fit offensively. He's not a ball stopper like Randle. He's going to be an excellent pick and roll fit with Brunson. They're going to space the court out. They're going to shoot a bunch of threes. He's a decent passer, a willing one if he isn't plagued by turnovers. He does turn the ball over a lot. But this is like modernizing in a way, even though you have this style that really worked. You're kind of mimicking a bit what Boston did winning the championship this year, where you're like, we want to play 5 out. We want to have our center shoot threes. We want to have a bunch of elite defending wings that can all switch on the perimeter, and we'll switch everything 2 through 4, and we'll have our own coverage 1 and 5 when they run those pick and rolls.
Yeah.
So I think it does make sense, and it is going to help your offense. But I'm just not sure locking in this core that we haven't seen prove anything together, even play 1 game together. We have no idea how the fit is. I'm not sure I would lock this core in for 4 years and be like, this is what we all worked for. This whole process, rebuilding, getting all these picks, signing Jalen Brunson to a crazy, amazing deal so that you can bring in Bridges, OG Anunoby, all these guys. And now the crown jewel that's going to take us to the mountaintop is Karl-Anthony Towns. I'm not sure that he would have been my crown jewel.
It's just an addition. Brunson's the one, and we go from there, And
honestly, that's how you guys have got to this point. You didn't make gigantic splash moves. You made a solid move, then a solid move, then another move to get a first-round pick, another move to get assets here. Oh, a guy who's undervalued in Jalen Brunson, a guy who's undervalued in Hartenstein. You're going to give us Josh Hart for free? We'll rehab Julius Randle. You know what I mean? This is how you guys got here. It wasn't by doing the moves that won the summer and the ESPN pages and all that stuff. It is by stacking little wins and getting incrementally better. And so if this is another incremental win and this is going to help you to go to the next place, I understand it. But I don't see where the next step is from here. And I don't think this is a championship roster with Karl-Anthony Towns as protecting the rim to center.
This is the squad, man.
I don't get it.
There's nothing else to be.
I'm just going to say it. I don't get it. I don't understand this trade for either team. I don't understand why anybody did this shit.
Oh, when you say that, that's insane. For Minnesota, I understand. For the Knicks, makes plenty of sense. We don't know if Randle was going to fit in, and KAT played with Tibbs before, and I get it.
Randle only had 1 year left on his deal, bro. You didn't have to lock yourself into $240 million and 4 years of Karl-Anthony Towns playing center.
I don't got time for Julius Randle with his head down, pouting. All right? He was about to get booed out of the city because it's a new regime, dog. It's some Nova shit, man.
I had a bad game. Take this, home fans who paid money to check me out, support me.
I love Julius, man. He got us to this point. It's not just Brunson, but at the end of the day, look, Joel Embiid, haven't seen anything in the playoffs.
He's gonna run through KAT like a fucking homecoming football team through the paper.
The thing is, it's from where the Knicks started when Julius Randle got there, I will take being a 4 seed because the Knicks basement is so fucking low for all these years. As a fan, I will take them being a 6 seed and up for the rest of my life with a chance of maybe making the Eastern Conference Finals or Finals every year, opposed to what we were for throughout my lifetime. I'm a 32-year-old man, and I've only seen the Knicks go to the finals twice. One time I was young as shit. OJ Simpson ruined that. he's out there on
Well,
rampage.
you're
on the
not going to
Broncos.
see it for another 5 years at least.
No,
'Cause
I'm
y'all
just
are not
saying.
going to the NBA Finals with Karl Anthony Towns. It's not
But
happening. You
I'm
heard
just
it here
trying to explain
first.
it. I'm just trying to explain it to you. And you're a Hawks fan, so I don't even know why the fuck you're like you want a team to be decent, bro. That's all I'm saying. Like I
I
saw
want
the
to win a
Knicks.
fucking championship. I'm
You
sick of
can't
these.
win in Atlanta.
Terry, we've
Stop
had
it.
a decent team the last 4 seasons. We've been in the play-in. All
Do you
right,
like
I
it?
don't give
You
a
like
fuck.
making the
No,
playoffs, right? Ah,
no.
okay.
You know what I really liked? I liked fucking losing 60 games and then being like, "Oh, we got Trae Young, the franchise savior. He's gonna
Nah,
change everything." That's what the
I'm
fuck
good
I
on
liked.
that.
What I liked was
Nah,
going to the conference finals and being up on the Bucks before the refs fucking took control of the series and injured our
nah.
best player. That's
I
what the
like
fuck I
having a
liked.
playoff team. I like having a playoff team. The Knicks suck all the time. I'm fucking excited. You can't damper it. You're never gonna damper it. We're going to the finals, baby. Meow. Meow. Game time, baby. We got this.
And we haven't even talked about Karl Anthony Towns may have the worst branding of any player in the NBA in terms of how he represents himself off the court, the corniness, the crazy inspirational quotes, the Jameis Winston-esque type of energy that he presents, and some of the crazy shit that he said after games. Now he's going to the media capital of the world, playing for the most high-profile team in the NBA, the New York Knicks, where every single word that he says is going to be dissected. Every little cornball attempt to be cute or tough or whatever the hell that he's trying to do is going to be blown up 1,000 times. And he's with a coach who's publicly aired him out in the past and has never had his back or supported him. So
He doesn't
it's
take
safe
that
to
bullshit.
say,
I'm fine with that.
Well, Karl Anthony Towns, that didn't deter him at all. He continued right on that bullshit. So I don't know. I feel like from a personality standpoint, I am very interested to see the cornball who seems pretty uncomfortable in his own shoes, that is Karl Anthony Towns, with the microscope
Man.
on him at all times. I'm excited to see it, and I know it's going to be fireworks. I know he's going to give us plenty of quotables to talk about during the regular season.
20-10. The
I'm
real question is
the greatest shooting big man ever. That's me.
I think he'll fit in just like Porzingis fit in with the Celtics. It's not going to be blocked shots and shit, but he's got 20 points, wide open threes. He's going to have wide open threes with fucking Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Brunson, the ball movement, the pick and rolls, the pick and pops. Offensively, hey, let's outscore him then. Tibbs' identity, his scheme, even if Brunson and KAT get pick and rolled, the scheme, though, I believe in the boys. I believe in Bridges and OG. OG and Anunoby also has to stay healthy.
Since you want to talk scheme, let's talk scheme, Terry. All right.
Let's move.
Most important to Tom Thibodeau is his big man as the anchor of his defense. It has been his entire career, from Kevin Garnett to Joakim Noah to Hartenstein and Mitchell Robinson.
You think Hartenstein was a great anchor last year?
Yeah, absolutely. I told you that when he was with the Clippers. I mean,
he was okay. He was fine.
He was absolutely elite, and there are tons of advanced stats that you can.
He's better than KAT. Is that what you're saying?
It's like KAT is in the bottom third of the NBA. Hartenstein is in the top 10% elite.
No, I'm just saying
below average.
As a player, is he better than KAT? Is he better than KAT?
He's a more winning player than KAT. I'd rather if I'm having a championship team, I'd rather
KAT just
have
went to the Western
Hartenstein.
Conference Finals.
Huh?
Karl Anthony Towns just went to the Western Conference Finals as the second leading scorer on the team.
Yeah, it's the third banana.
He was the second leading scorer on the team. What do you want out of him?
The third banana, the third most impactful player.
The third, who was Rudy Gobert? Was the second most impactful?
Yes. Yeah, they beat fucking Jokic, and Gobert. What was the reason they beat Jokic? Karl Anthony Towns? Is that the reason, Terry?
Did you watch Game 6?
We did pause after every damn game, Terry.
KAT was balling for a little bit.
No,
look, I'm not going to sit here and say
KAT fronted him, and Gobert was on the back end. They're playing bracket coverage on Jokic.
It was smart. I mean, but Jokic still scored 35.
It's not like Karl Anthony Towns manned up Jokic. It was like, I'm putting you in the torture chamber, young man.
He gave me some effort. He gave some effort.
And that's what we're talking about. That the high point of this guy is he gave me some effort. This is the reason that you saw Taj Gibson in New York 2 seasons ago. Because what he cares about is positional solidity. Karl Anthony Towns, what does he like to do? He likes to chase all over for block shots, not timely enough to actually affect a shot or block it, and then he leaves the offensive boards open for the opponent. We saw this with Miles Robinson, or what's his name?
Mitchell Robinson.
Mitchell Robinson. We saw this 3 years ago from him. Karl Anthony Towns is still there. And how did Tibbs treat Mitchell Robinson? He sat him on the bench for Taj Gibson. All right. So don't be surprised if y'all sign Taj Gibson again, because Karl Anthony Towns is not going to be able to deliver what Tom Thibodeau needs from that position. And it's just going to infuriate him once again.
Honestly,
feel like, yeah.
I don't know what Mitchell Robinson's status is right now, but honestly, I think that's ideally, I feel like that's what Tibbs would want to start with. I think he wants KAT at the 4, and Hart's probably going to come off the bench, and we'll just do OG and Bridges and shit. But I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. But at the end of the day, man, look, dude, defense does win championships, but I feel like in this new age, if you ain't putting up points and keeping up with the game, at least giving your team a chance to stay in that shit, then there's not much to talk about. You still have to get buckets. Like if the other team doesn't
that's
score,
why you have 3 20-point scorers already on the team in Anunoby, Bridges, and Jalen Brunson. Like
how long is Anunoby going to stay healthy?
20-point scorers on the same team.
I don't like make believe shit where dudes stay hurt. OG is a great fucking player, but realistically, if you gave me an over under for 50 games, I'm taking the under every fucking season. I love them. Love the trade. It was beautiful. I don't like dudes that are hurt. It's the same CP3 in San Antonio. But it's going to be the lobs to Wemby are going to be awesome. That motherfucker's not going to play 20 games. Okay? Let's be realistic. I love OG Anunoby. But at the end of the season, Mitchell Robinson's probably not going to play more than fucking 10 games. OG Anunoby might play 50 games. KAT is usually healthy. It's probably going to be KAT, Mikal Bridges, who never gets hurt, and Jalen Brunson at the end of the season, and Hart, most likely. That's going to be the core.
Sounds like a championship team to me. Let's lock these guys up through 2028.
If the playoffs come, like I said, if the playoffs come, and I know it's hard, people are like, you can't predict injuries. And like I say, every fucking year, yeah, you can. Joel Embiid won't be in the fucking playoffs. Giannis missed the last 2 fucking playoffs hurt. Giannis stays sneaky hurt more than people think. So if those motherfuckers aren't healthy, I'll take our chances. Fuck Indiana. They're not beating us again. Obi Toppin, suck up. No, you know what? I'm going to keep it to myself. I'm going to keep it to myself. I'm going to try
Obi
to be clean.
Toppin could be a really useful guy to have on the roster right now, actually.
Him and Tibbs, they can get along.
They'd love to have an Obi Toppin type guy. Honestly, I think I disagree with you completely. I don't think that he wants to play KAT at the 4. I do think he wants to play KAT at the 5.
We both agree. You don't think so? Oh, okay. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see.
No, I think OG Anunoby's best position is the 4. And that's where he really shines.
I think so too.
Where he can guard the bigger guys. Like,
it'll be interesting.
I think KAT's the 5, OG's the 4, Bridges is the 3, and your boy, the rebounder. What's his fucking name? Josh Hart. Probably
Josh Hart. Well, that's most likely going to be lineup for sure. But hey, man, I'm happy. And Jalen Brunson and KAT, you better start working on that pick and roll scheme right now. That's all I got to say. Hey, look, it's the same shit though. Last year with Boston, who's the dude they wanted to run the pick and rolls with? Who's their fucking
Sam Hauser?
No. It was I forget. They kept the other team kept attacking it. Dallas tried to attack it, but they couldn't get by it. Regardless, I forget who it was. There's always weaknesses on teams, and that's our weakness. And if that's the only weakness, maybe I don't remember who it was. But if the only weakness is those 2 guys, and if you're only gonna do the pick and roll every single play, the only people honestly in the league coming around playoff times that I'll be worried about with that, yes, would be probably the Sixers. Orlando's not scaring me with the fucking pick and roll 1-5. Who else? That's fucking good. Boston.
Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Stay healthy, boys. Dame's old too. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
If they got it, go for it. Do your thing. I'm not scared.
Let's talk a little bit about the other side of this, the Minnesota side of the trade.
Yuck.
You don't love it, huh?
Yuck. I like Julius. I
I
don't know how it's gonna fit though.
I like this move more for the Timberwolves than I like it for the Knicks. And I'll tell
Okay.
you why. Julius Randle is out of contract at the end of the season and has a player
Facts.
option for next year. Carl Anthony Towns is locked in for $60 million through 2028. At
Mhm.
that time, Anthony Edwards will be 27 years old in his prime and should be contending for championships. And I think they took a look in the mirror and was like, this ain't it. We're not going to get over the mountaintop with this guy as our second best player. And if we do
Mhm.
want to get a championship, we need to have a legitimate championship level second banana on the team. And I think this gives them a pathway to get one. On the other hand, they're clearly accepting taking a step back for this year
Mhm.
because Randall is a poor fit for their offense. As you mentioned, he's a ball stopper. He's going to congest the spacing with Anthony Edwards. All their shots are going to come within the last 7 seconds of the shot clock. He's going to over dribble. He's going to try to attack the same areas that Ants want to get to in the rim and the mid range.
Yeah.
And he's just going to muck everything up. On the defensive end of the court, there's 0% chance that he has any chance of stopping Jokic. And even if they do double him up like they did with Karl Anthony Towns and Gobert, Jokic will walk his ass all the way down to the paint and shoot over him like he's standing on a chair.
So you think
So,
Cat does a better job at that type of scheme than Randall would?
yeah, he's 3 inches taller.
Yeah, I believe so
You know,
too.
any plays center.
Randall is strong though, but go ahead.
He's very strong. I'd definitely give him
Yeah.
that, but he's just not big and tall enough to fuck with Jokic. He's
Yep.
just a different animal. So I think they take a step back on defense when it comes to the playoffs when it really matters. I think they take a step
Mhm.
back on offense when it comes to the playoffs when it really matters. DiVincenzo might be the most overrated player in the NBA. This dude was one of the 10 worst defenders in the entire league last season, playing on a team of surrounded by elite defenders with a scheme that did everything to make up for his weaknesses. He doesn't have a position. He's not a point guard.
Yeah,
He's not big enough to play shooting guard. He
gotcha.
can't guard anybody. The only thing that he can do is shoot. He's a combo guard who can shoot.
Valuable.
Oh, guess who they just spent their first round pick on that they traded up with the Spurs in the top 10 to take Rob Dillingham, an undersized combo guard whose greatest asset is his scoring and his shooting.
Are you saying
So-
Johnny Flynn, Ricky Rubio 2.0?
I am. And now you've alienated your young rookie who you trade up to pick. I have no idea what role Dillingham is going to play.
Yeah, it's gonna be strange.
DiVincenzo, he's too small to play alongside Conley and give Anthony Edwards a rest. They'll get absolutely roasted if they put out Conley and DiVincenzo in the backcourt. He can't run point by himself. Like, he's not that good of a facilitator. He's
Nah,
not
he
that
can
good
bring
of
the
a pick and roll player.
He can bring the ball up. That's about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, you can stand around and hit, catch, and shoot threes and be like, what's your boy from Duke, Luke Kennard. But we see what happens to Luke Kennard every year when the playoffs hit. And
Yeah.
even though he's shooting 46% from three, he finds his ass on the pine. And I think that's where DiVincenzo is going to be. I don't think he makes their team any better. He's in a contract year, like he said. If anything, he'll bamboozle them into giving him a multi-year deal and locking up a player that doesn't fit with the other players on their roster.
Yeah.
And we already talked about the Randall thing. Now, the upside is this. Best case scenario, they only have to deal with Julius Randle for a year. He opts out of, he doesn't accept his player option. He's a free agent and gets a bag, multi-year deal from somebody else the next summer. Worst case scenario, he opts into 30-something million dollars. And now you're in 2 seasons pretty much of championship purgatory, where the rest of the roster really looks like it could compete if you tweaked it and added some things. You know, proved by the fact, that they went to the conference finals last year.
Yeah.
So I understand the long-term thinking of the Wolves, but I'm not sure this was the deal to execute it. It may have just come down to the fact that they're like, we have an opportunity to move Towns now for value, and we don't know when's the next time that we're going to still have this opportunity. And so if we have to punt on 2 years of Anthony Edwards prime, we'll do it in order to get him like that second banana next summer or the summer after that. But I tell you what, You better not come out empty and then have the social media rolling out pictures of Zach LaVine back the reunion in Timberwolves. You better not roll out D'Angelo Russell or one of these Brandon Ingram or one of these fringe all-star type guys and been like, we did it. If you're going to make this move, you better get a blue chip, legitimate superstar to pair with Anthony Edwards. And so at this point, all I can do is wait and see.
So do you agree with punting a season though? When you have a top 5, let's just say it's top 5. If he's a top 5 player, do you agree with punting a season?
Maybe punting a season. The 2 seasons make me nervous. And I tell you what, if you're in Minnesota, you better be giving Julius Randle the USA national team treatment when they play in Mexico. You better be outside his hotel room with noisemakers and alarm clocks and fireworks at 3 a.m. every night. You better not be letting him into any of the nightlife spots. You better be calling the power company and fucking with his heat so it's -8 degrees inside Julius Randle's house. You got to do whatever you can to make this man hate Minnesota so much that he'll leave $35 million on the table next year. Because that's the best case scenario.
I don't think you got to do much. He went from New York City to Minneapolis. Shout out to Minneapolis. It's an awesome place for people that make less than $250,000 a year. It's a great fucking time. But if you're making $35 million, that's definitely not a destination spot for like a top 40 population U.S. city. It's not. But on the other end, it is $35 million. Look, man, I don't know if, because teams don't usually do this, like punt a season with a really good player on their team. So I don't think he's going to last past the trade deadline. I don't think so, Julius Randle. But I'm going to just throw this caveat right now. If this team is good, I'll never talk about basketball again. If they're like a top 3 seed in the West, hey, you got the basketball talk. I'll just sit here and be like, yep, I agree. Because, like, this shit makes no sense to me at all. It makes no sense to me at all. Defensively, they're still going to be good defensively, honestly. It's just because they have good defensive players on the team. Yeah, Gobert and Ant. Yeah. They have Naz Reid. They have good defensive players. But at the end of the day, man, this ain't it, dog. I don't know who they're going to get. It's like, because we say, like, this is the most talented NBA that we've probably seen in a while. There's all the guys offensively, and there's some defensive guys that are just super talented. But with the salary constrictions and everything, man, it just makes it tough as fuck to really get like that second option if you don't draft them and they don't like work out for you. It just makes it tough, especially for a team like Minnesota and doing that in free agency. I don't know, man. This might suck. I really don't know who they're gonna get because Paul George is already in Philly. He's kind of old. Dame is already in Milwaukee. You know, he's also kind of old.
And so this brings me back to my original like first reaction from the whole trade.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
For either team, man. Why? Why now? Why not before the trade deadline? Why not see what this group looks like for the Knicks? And if you have serious deficiencies, then you can go get KAT in 3 months. Why are the Timberwolves so willing to punt 2 seasons their best player in franchise history's prime? Like, all respect to KG's. Sorry, dude.
KG's probably still better.
Yeah, he is. But I'm saying I'm projecting
I got you.
5 years down the line.
Hey, Ant better be Jesus because this is going to be tough. Hey, you better have some resiliency too. Hey, look, y'all better be sending some packages over to Ant's house because if I'm Ant, I'm looking at Minnesota sideways. Like, come on, bro. This ain't 2006 again. Or
come on back to the A. Come on home, baby. Come on home, Anthony Edwards. Give the people of Atlanta what they want and what they need, which is Trae Young throwing alley-oops off the backboard to Ant.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm disappointed. Look, you don't like the Knicks trade. I think it's the Knicks are going to be a good team, and it's the East. There's only really like 2 to 3 contenders over there, so it makes more sense for them to try to do something. But Minnesota, I'm confused, man. Especially because Denver still, I think, took another step down. Honestly, yeah. If you and I are being honest with each other, the West was open, man. Like I love Dallas. I like the Clay acquisition, but defensively, that's gonna look nasty. That's gonna look absolutely disgusting defensively. Like that's gonna be hard to watch. Not gonna lie.
Well, I am
The
looking
what?
forward to seeing Isaiah Hartenstein like contribute again to an elite team like he always
OKC.
does.
SGA is about to be my fucking MVP pick, dog. This is about to be a great season. But yeah, man, I don't know. Just
Last point I want to bring up
go
is
ahead.
the way that people are talking about the pick that you guys are sending them in this trade. This is not going to be a first round pick. It's a Pistons pick that's top 10 protected in the next 2 years.
Yeah.
They're not going to be above top 10 team in the next 2 years. The
Only
Pistons suck ass. Y'all gave away 2 second-round picks is what it's going to ultimately convey as. So
hey.
I'm a bit tired of everyone talking about, oh, New York gave up a first-round pick. No, the fuck they didn't. The Pistons
Hey.
suck, and it's 2 seconds.
Hey. Take your glasses off, nerds. We don't care about that pick. We care about the players. We got KAT. Shut up. Meow. We're back, baby. We are back. And I know you don't like it, but we're back.
Well, congratulations, Terry. I'm happy that optimism is in the air. Can't wait to see what the Knicks look like this season. The Timberwolves with Randle, the future of both franchises. The NBA landscape, it seems like every summer there's another seismic move or two that shifts the whole landscape. Nobody just is like, hey, we're going to run it back and these guys are going to get better together. And that never happens anymore.
Hey, look, all I got to say is NBA, you're always the talk of the summer. You know, you always got the offseason moves. Translate that shit into the regular season. People, watch the games. Let's get some numbers running up. The NFL, should we just go ahead and go to the NFL? The number one.
Hey, let's talk about your man who's running numbers up in the NFL. Patrick Mahomes is leading the NFL in interceptions. The Chiefs are 4-0. No one's thrown more interceptions than Patrick Mahomes. And he's down to Xavier Worthy and Juju Smith-Schuster as his only 2 viable receivers. Keep in mind, Juju was out of the league like this whole summer until they signed him when they found out Hollywood Brown was going to be on IR.
Yep. What's the Rasheed injury? How long is he out for? I didn't see anything.
ACL, out for the season.
Damn. That's tough, man. He was really good, too. He was showing some promise.
Yeah, on both of my fantasy teams, too. Got absolutely fucked.
Good. It's a good pick because he was awesome last year. This year, a little iffy, but Mahomes, because I think he's thrown an interception in 10 straight games, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Did he
I
not?
think so.
Yeah. Man, it's a receiver problem. I'm not gonna lie, because last year was rough on your boy Patty. That was a rough year for the receivers. The rookie was leading them in receptions and touchdowns and everything. Who was the second leading receiver? Not besides Kelsey. Who was the actual second receiver? Like the second wide receiver in catches? I can't even Tony.
It was probably like Sky Moore or somebody like that.
Oh my God, yeah. I think they dropped like 28 passes last year or something crazy like that.
Justin Watson, maybe. I have no fucking idea.
The tight end. I don't even know. Besides the point, you want to get something off your chest? Look, the NFL, you guys, I gotta say it every year. I'm sick and tired of watching you guys suck. The quarterbacks are sucking. Give me a better product. I'm getting fucking sick of watching this trash every week. You guys have thrown the least amount of touchdowns since I think like 2000 and I want to say like 18 or 17. You guys are, come on now. What's going on? Caleb Williams, you let me down. Chicago Bears fan here. You want to talk about Patty? Talk about Patty. I don't know what's going on. He's still the best of all time. I don't care.
He's still nasty. He has been forcing shit a bit. Some of his picks were like pretty needless. Yeah. You know,
the one he
just like didn't see.
The last one was bad though. This last one was pretty bad. He overthrew Kelsey by a lot.
My thing is just like he has to get it together and become the Pat Mahomes that is like head and shoulders above everyone else in the NFL with this supporting cast because Rashee Rice is out, Hollywood Brown is out.
Yep.
What's his name? The running back, the motherfucker who runs like his hair.
Pacheco broke his leg.
Pacheco is out. Like, these are the 3 best non-Mahomes players in your offense now that Travis Kelce is 35 years old.
Yeah, he's 34. Oh, yeah, he turns 35 in October 5th.
Yeah, looks to be pretty washed, to be honest. I don't know if he can sustain, his level of production that he's shown over the course of the season. He certainly didn't last year. It was off to a horrible start this year as well. So the pressure is on Patrick Mahomes. They got to perfect record. They're 4-0. They're ahead of their division, but tough times ahead. And the MVP of the league, he's got to start playing like it right now.
I mean, like they won like this last year, so they do have like something to look back on and kind of copycat moving forward. But who is anyone better than him? You know what I'm saying? So I guess I'm not worried.
I
They're
know
4
one man
0.
who's not better than him, staying in the same division. Trevor Lawrence has not won in his last 10 starts. He is the third worst off target percentage in the NFL, only behind Deshaun Watson and Anthony Richardson. The
Yikes.
Jags are 0-4. Their season is over. They look
Yep.
just as bad as they did with Urban Meyer. And for Trevor Lawrence, this has been a roller coaster of a career where he looked like a guy who's keeping his head above water with a terrible situation around him in Urban Meyer to
Yeah.
beginning to start to shine and play with confidence under Doug Peterson to wilting in the second half of the season last year to this year being one of the worst quarterbacks in the league, frankly. And like you mentioned, we've seen some stinkers. You've been Trevor Lawrence's number one fan since he was in Clemson back in those days.
Well, I think I'm second.
Where
Nick
are
Wright
you
would be
sitting
first.
in the Terry DeShazo Trevor Lawrence confidence index?
If I got his jersey on right now, I'm starting a fire outside. The fire is getting started. The fire is getting
Lawrence
started.
Inferno.
And, me and the boys, we're starting to feel it. We're starting to get warm. And we're starting to take our jerseys off. And by the time we get to London, I don't think we're going to make it. I think those jerseys are going to be in the fire. This dude is, man, it's amazing, bro, because Peterson won a Super Bowl with the Eagles, and he was a great offensive play caller. And it was Nick Foles and Carson Wentz. And now we get, this was supposed to be one of the best prospects we've seen since Andrew Luck, since Peyton Manning, since, the best quarterbacks of all time. His fucking, Mel Kiper and Todd McShay gave him like a 98, 99, going into the draft. He looks worse than a lot of quarterbacks. I've watched a lot of shit quarterbacks as a Chicago Bears fan. He looks pretty bad. I'm not going to lie. Rex Grossman looking pretty good right now. Jay Cutler looking pretty good right now. This Kyle Orton looking pretty zesty right now. I'm not going to lie. This dude, Trevor Lawrence, man, he might be done. He might be cooked, bro. I don't know what's going on. They already signed him. I don't know why there was this big rush to sign these fucking quarterbacks. I guess because all of the quarterbacks are bad, you kind of have to just you got to do something, but whew, man, where's Tyrod Taylor at? I'm just like, what's going on, dude? I'm done with them.
They in pole position for the number one pick, man. They in pole position for the number one pick. Yeah, and if they get
put them on hold.
The Trevor Lawrence era is over.
Shador Sanders? Saigon. I don't even. Is there like a?
Oh my god, what an awful situation!
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Hey, knowing him and his family and his dad, and everything, he probably would
block that shit. He would block it. He'd pull an Eli Manning and be like, "No, I'm going to a black coach." I feel like that's all Deion gives a fuck. He's like, "Hey, he's got to have a black coach. Come on, let's be real."
But he's on the shelf for now. But even if you look at the division. CJ Stroud's not looking good this year. Richardson, that guy, his underthrows. That motherfucker looked worse than Skylar Thompson from the Dolphins. And they replaced him with Huntley, who was on the streak.
He's one of the only two players with a worse off-target percentage than Trevor Lawrence.
It might be over. Like, no 0-4 team has made the playoffs. It was only one team, I think, some team in like 1998. I can't remember who it was. I'll look it up when you start to talk, but I think I'm done with your boy Trevor this year, man. It might be over. They might be cooked.
It is. Put a stake in it. The Trevor Lawrence era is over. They're going to be competing for the number one pick. They're going to be looking for a new quarterback, and it's been a real Goldilocks.
Coming for that number one spot. Yeah.
All right. Other notable teams, things that happened this past weekend. The Baltimore Ravens figured out that Derrick Henry is good at football. Derrick
Yeah.
Henry in the game, he had over 200 yards from scrimmage. He had 2 touchdowns. He had an 87-yard touchdown where he ran past everybody. He's second in the NFL in explosive rushes. That's like 15 plus yards rushes. In this season alone, he's had 6 runs in which he's hit 18 miles an hour, which is number 1 for every single running back in the NFL.
Did you see
And
though that he was like not that far behind running Xavier Worthy?
yeah,
I was like, what? It was like 0.1 miles an hour or something. I was like,
yeah.
get the fuck out of here.
At 250 pounds.
Well, when he gets going, god damn. I mean, I know he looked fast, but I didn't think he was like that. Good lord.
And the Ravens, who struggled the first 2 weeks of the season, who bizarre.
Hey,
I don't know why.
I think they played well. They played well week 1. It was week
They
1.
did.
Played
I
well.
mean, Isaiah, he had the Kevin Durant toenail. You know what I mean? Isaiah likely did. He would have won the game otherwise.
Yeah.
But I did feel like that they were struggling to find their identity. And they're like, oh, we got these cool pieces. Zay Flowers, he's great on bubble screens. He's great after yards after the catch. He's great downfield. Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews, we got a 2-headed monster at tight end. And for some reason, Justice Hill was like the focal point of the offense. And he was like splitting carries in the background with in the backfield with Derrick Henry. And it seems like over the last 2 weeks, they figured out, oh, let's stop running these shotgun runs with Derrick Henry. Let's stop doing all this shit that he's never done his whole career. Let's put a fucking lead blocker in front of him. Let's line up and let's go pound this fucking rock. And the results, pretty definitive, I would say. And as a Derrick Henry fantasy owner, I am happy. And it seems like they finally found the identity of this offense. That we're going to run the ball down your goddamn throat. And if you put 9-10 in the box, now we're going to go deep. And I feel like I was concerned about the Ravens. Shaky start. You know, I had them going to the playoffs. I think I had them as my Super Bowl pick in the AFC. I don't remember.
I think you did, bro. No, you might have went Chiefs. You might have went Chiefs.
Yeah, you're right. But I think they've righted the ship, and Baltimore is here to stay for the rest of the season, a legitimate contender. They are for real.
Yeah, it's just a continuation of what we said last week. You know, they figured out what they needed to do with Derrick Henry. Although, you know, it was a little bit of a rattle at the end of last week in the Cowboys game. They started doing stupid shit again. But honestly, bro, if Derrick Henry's going to do this, if the 2-time MVP can just chill all season, we save him for the playoffs, you know, draw up some shit for him. Zay Flowers, I still need a little more production than 1 reception and 10 yards. But I think they got this division in the bag. If the Steelers, you know, look, it's Justin Fields. It's Justin Fields. I love Mike Tomlin. I love what he does, but I know Justin Fields. And he's gonna do he's gonna fuck it up. I understand they're giving him great instructions. Justin, if you throw an interception, I'm taking you out the game. He's like, gotcha, coach. I won't even risk it. I'm just gonna run it. You know, the defense will win. You can't do that if a team like they eventually you're gonna have to score more than 21 points. More than 28. It's gonna be some games where you need to score a lot of points. And I don't trust them. The Bengals are looking horrible. And the Browns are the Browns, baby. Deshaun Watson, shout out to you and your agent getting that solidification of that guaranteed contract that you don't give a fuck about Cleveland, do you, huh? Do you even live in Cleveland, Deshaun? I feel like he doesn't even live in Cleveland. He's like, hey, coach, I can't make it to practice this week, next week, and the week after. My bad. I'm paid, baby. I'm in Miami. Yeah.
He gonna pull the DeAndre Ayton. I couldn't pull out of my driveway and get to practice.
Too much ice, coach. Too much ice.
I couldn't walk down to the entrance to my street and have a team official pick me up.
Stop doing your boy Ayton like that, man. They tried to retrieve him. They sent people to retrieve him, and they got stuck too, man. Come on, don't do him dirty. Yeah, but not. Look, man. Baltimore looks great. The Steelers have looked okay. So, like, of if you're doing who had the highest of highs in the division, it's Baltimore for sure. And I think they're going to come back and win this division. They found their identity. It's a continuation. Let's move on.
Speaking of teams that found their identity, the Lions are back rolling after, they dropped a game earlier in the season. Defense has had some question marks, but that offense turned in a juggernaut performance against the Seahawks. Coming into the game, the Seahawks are the number 1 team in the NFL by statistics, and they got picked apart. The Lions won 42-29. Goff was a perfect 18 for 18 for 292 yards. They scored 6 touchdowns on their first 10 possessions, not counting the like victory formation kneel down at the end of the game. And this offense that we saw dominate the league last year has been better this year. They're better on expected points per drive. They're better on success rate. They're better on explosive plays. Last year, they didn't have Jamison Williams catching 70-yard touchdowns every other week. They have a guy who takes the top off, in addition to Amon-Ra and Laporta and Swift and Montgomery and Goff, who's operating it all at an elite level. This Lions team looks to be like they're clicking in all cylinders. They're 3-1. And I think they dismissed any questions they had about whether there was some type of postseason hangover. The Lions' legacy will always haunt them. The offense is falling apart because Sam Laporta isn't balling. The offense is crazy good. And if they can figure out these defense, Lions are Super Bowl contenders, I think.
Yeah, the defense is still a problem. We're not going to forget about that because the Seahawks still scored 29 points. And I get like, you kind of change up what you're doing because you were scoring so much, but Seattle was kind of driving on them all game. A few good stops by Detroit, but yeah, I mean, offensively though, they look great, bro. I'm not going to lie. Gibbs looks good. Montgomery, of course,
you see the hook and ladder throw back to Jared Goff in the fucking end zone. Like they pulling out all the stops, bro.
That was sick. Tom Brady could never. No, but that was sick. Yeah, statue. That was sick though.
White hands.
The Lions, man, they were my Super Bowl pick. I picked Chiefs, Lions. I know, top teams. I'm an asshole, but yeah. Hey,
what are you guys supposed to do? Pick Panthers, Jaguars?
Everybody wants a surprise pick. Hey, I love my boy. I love Nick Wright from FS1.
Yeah.
But the Bears to the fucking Super Bowl? Come on, dog. He loves Caleb Williams too much. Anyways, I know, right? But you said the Bears are gonna make playoffs too.
Yeah,
the record looks okay.
Card, not the Super Bowl.
They looking shaky. And look, man.
You want to talk
good.
about them? Do you want to talk some Bears, Terry?
We could talk Bears.
You guys are 2-2. You're in the hunt. You possibly could still make the playoffs.
Yeah, we'll see.
The problem is we thought you were going to be out there playing the air raid offense, throwing the balls all over the fucking park. And the reason that you've won these games has been special teams defense and your running game.
The defense is really good. The defense is really good. Can we talk about it? Can I talk about it?
Go ahead.
We look like shit. We look like shit offensively, dude. We look horrible. There's nothing else I can say. I can't break it down and analyze it any better than Caleb Williams is missing wide open throws, dog. There are opportunities in the games. We could have had an easy touchdown to DJ Moore on the sideline, and we could have put the game away easy so we didn't have to continue. The defense just fucking, can we just stay on the field for longer? Like, stop with the fucking 4 and outs, man. God, bro. I love this dude, man, but oh my God, he's killing me, bro. He is showing signs of improvement, but look, don't be demoralized by yourself. Keep your confidence up. I can see his confidence starting to like dwindle a little bit, and it's concerning. I'm not gonna lie. He's a very confident man, but
he is.
Him missing some of those throws, I can see his head down and shit. It's like, it's okay, dog. Look, the expectations are still very low, and I get it. Justin Fields is undefeated in Pittsburgh. Don't even worry about that. Just do you, man. Just ball. Yeah. We'll be okay. Your defense has got your back. Special teams is playing great. Just hit the open throws when they're open. And if you throw an interception, it's fine. But you just have to improve. And he's showing signs of improvement, but you can't be overthrowing dudes by 6 yards. That's all I got to ask.
Just to play devil's advocate, and you're like almost inside the building, and I have more of a 1,000-eye view, being that I haven't watched all the Bears snaps this season. I will say, like, just according to statistics, Caleb Williams is number 1 in the entire NFL for completion percentage when he's not under pressure and has a clean pocket.
Yeah, I mean, he's
number
fantastic.
1 in the NFL. So it's like, I know it's easy to pin a lot of shit on him missing these throws, and I think a lot of it is fair. But I think if you guys can find a way to have the tight ends chip in and help him in the protection scheme, to have the running backs chip, give him a half a second more. I think he'll, build that confidence back up and continue to be the guy that he was at USC. But the
Hopefully,
thing that we haven't seen from Caleb Williams that
a good
has
offensive
disappointed me,
performance.
yeah, well, that's number one. That's facts.
A
Number
complete
two,
game.
second thing that like everyone compared him to Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers and all this stuff in the
Yeah.
draft. A
Mhm.
big reason of that was like the off-schedule plays, the
Yeah.
ability to create something like when a play is dead and it's broken down and you're running around doing playmaker mode, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Getting your wide receivers to come with you. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen the off-schedule
Nah.
guy. I haven't seen the Russell Wilson with the Seahawks. It's wriggly and slippery and impossible to get on the ground, and he throws it at the last minute. I haven't seen the guy who can create something out of nothing at all.
Yep.
I've seen him take advantage of the stuff that's there occasionally,
Mhm.
but he was supposed to be like a Ronaldinho. He's supposed to be a magician. He is supposed to be a magic man who, how did
Yeah.
he get out of it? I can't believe it. And the next thing you know, someone's streaking towards the end zone. Where has that been, Caleb Williams?
He looks slow. I will not lie about that. He does look slow, and it was concerning too for me because like I get looking slow in Chicago, and it doesn't matter if it's summertime and the weather's 77. Our grass is
That field sucks.
it's a rough field to play on. Not gonna lie, it's a rough field to play on. I've seen it with my eyes, and that shit looks horrible. But in Indianapolis and in Houston, back-to-back turf games, I was like, my man still looks kind of slow. And a lot of the shit that I've noticed, and like you said, he looks like Russell Wilson, all right, but the wrong version of him. He looks like fucking
Denver Russ.
Yeah, he looks like Denver Russ. The one thing I have noticed, like he chews on the mouth guard and shit. This is gonna be like inside baseball type of thing. You know how like he chews his mouth guard like Steph Curry and shit. Do you know that he does that shit like all the time?
Mm-hmm.
I saw this crazy shit when it was a designed run and they zoomed in on the replay. He put his fucking mouth guard in his mouth.
Oh no!
I was like, this motherfucker, you can't be that goddamn obvious that you're gonna run the ball, dog. Come on, bro. It was like I think like 5 of the design runs I saw like on the replay. I'm sure they've done more than that, but I was like, wait a minute. Get the fuck out of here, man. Come on. Like, you can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. That's too obvious.
That's too easy, man. That's way too easy.
Yeah, that's kind of
level, bro.
I'm not but I'm not losing faith in my boy, of course. We're 4 games in. There's still like some shit. There's some throws I'm like, oh, that's nice. I like to see that.
Well, let's talk about who's actually been the best rookie quarterback so far this season. And it's unquestionably Jaden Daniels. I thought he was going to be good. Yeah. I did not think that he was going to be this good with an offensive line that led the league in sacks last year by a historic margin with really no weapons to speak of in offense besides Terry McLaurin, who's never been considered like a premier number 1 receiver. Mm-hmm. And considering all that, he's number 1 in the NFL, completing 82% of his passes.
Yep.
It's not all fucking dick and dunk shit. He's averaging 8.5 yards attempt, which is 4th in the whole NFL. So he's getting it downfield.
He's slinging it.
And the play calling by Kingsbury has been excellent, but it's been because of Jaden Daniels. And I have a stat for you that blew my mind. If we were to look at the past 3 weeks and take away the like game-winning kneel-down victory formation shit, the Commanders have scored on 20 of their 22 possessions, and they have not punted since week 1.
Yeah, that's crazy.
This is the best offense in the NFL from an efficiency and statistic perspective, and we're watching a rookie quarterback conduct it. And when CJ Stroud did it, I was like, he's balling out, but he has Tank Dell. He has, all these guys. Nico Collins. Like, at least he had weapons too.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels is doing this with Christian McCaffrey's brother as their number 2 receiver.
Facts.
Color me impressed, man. Everything that we hoped Caleb Williams would be, Jaden Daniels has been that and more. And I think he deserves some flowers.
No, he definitely does, man. It's a tougher slate of games for Chicago than Washington, but you still have to give a rookie credit for killing it because Bengals have one of the worst defenses in the league. the Giants are one of the worst teams in the league, might be the worst team in the league. And Arizona looks like they're going to, fall to the mean of what they are, a shitty team. But, going into the game, we are like, ooh, Arizona 1-2, frisky team. They might be okay. Then they got slaughtered. So I was like, all right, well, look at my boy Jaden. We're going to get a better gauge because they got Cleveland and Baltimore coming up with the next 2 games. But Jaden, if you cook versus Cleveland, which is a possibility because Deshaun is so bad offensively, maybe Cleveland's defense gets tired of shit.
They may have the ball for
them.
12 more minutes.
Yeah. He might carve them up, and maybe we'll have to be like, all right, another week, Baltimore, we'll see. But so far, so good, man. Got to give it to him. He looks very impressive. Very impressive. We knew he was a good player, but we just didn't know how good. And this is amazing.
He hasn't I mean, I
Getting
don't want
flattened.
to. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I've seen him getting flattened sometimes, but not as often as I saw at LSU, which is encouraging because every time he takes a hit, it looks like a pedestrian crossing the street without looking both ways.
These dudes in college, though, like Jaden Daniels and like Andrew Luck and them, you're like, oh, man, these guys, they'll be fine. It's no big deal. And then you see them get hit in the NFL, you're like, Jesus Christ. Watch out. It's a bus coming. Jaden, you look good so far, but everybody calm down. We got some good games coming up for them. We'll see how it goes. If they win the East, though, god damn, I wish I would have bet on that shit.
Last kind of talking point before we get to our quarterly recap and the contenders, pretenders, all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
It was announced yesterday that the Raiders are open to trading Davante Adams this season.
Mm-hmm.
And probably the most predictable outcome since the season started 4 weeks ago. We knew he wasn't going to be happy playing with Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell. And guess what? Your boy is disgruntled once again. So let me ask you, where would your ideal trade partner be? Where should Davante Adams go in a place that's realistic and he could help out?
Man, honestly, I don't know the cap as well NFL wise as I do in the NBA. But if I'm just looking at who needs a receiver, of course we can talk Kansas City. That'd be probably dream destination.
Number 1 on my list.
Yeah, that'd be dream destination for everybody.
Raiders are in their division, so if they did trade him to the Chiefs, that would be like the most Raiders thing of all time. And I don't even think the Raiders can Raider that hard.
That's probably not going to happen. Number 2, probably I would go Bills. It kind of looks like they need a receiver up there. And then if I were to put a number 3 in, I would go possibly Dallas might need somebody with CD.
Dude, that's my fucking top 3.
I mean, they need
that's
receivers.
my exact list.
They need receivers, man.
Also
they have good quarterbacks.
I had the Jets also in there, obviously reuniting with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
And then the young man we just talked about, the Commanders.
Oh, yeah. They look like a good team as well, not just Jaden. So I could see that. Him and Terry McLaurin. That'd be awesome.
That could be a sneak little move. Maybe that's probably the one I'm rooting for the most is that he goes to Commanders.
That'd be, I mean,
the Chiefs would be fireworks, but again, the Raiders would have to be. Al Davis would have to come back from the death to preside over this move himself.
No, that's true. Raiders looking bad. Who could have predicted it? Antonio Pierce. It looks like it wore off, huh?
The old it looked like it wore off at the end of last season. I don't know why they retained him.
I mean, I know Patrick Mahomes is great, but we're great too. No, you're not, buddy.
Great at what? Hey, I saw a lot of guys out there making some business decisions, and we're going to make some business decisions too by trading our best player for pennies on the dollar.
Oh, man. Hey, look, if they they should get a first rounder back though, right? Like, if I'm going to give up this dude, I have to get a first rounder back. If not, sorry, Davante, you're going to be fucking angry for the whole season. I don't give a shit.
They're not getting a first rounder. The most they'll get is a third.
The Raiders. Do it again, man. Don't do it.
All right. So we have week 4. We're a quarter way through the NFL season, roughly. We know it's 17 games now instead of 16. I figured we check in with who's winning each division, kind of see who the true contenders are, who the pretenders are, and some of the teams on the bubble that could possibly leapfrog some of these teams that are in pole place right now. So let's start with the NFC. Leading the NFC South are the Bucks. Leading the NFC North are the Vikings. Leading the NFC East are the Commanders. And leading the NFC West are the Seahawks. Just like we predicted when the season began, right? So teams I have to watch, the Lions, they're 3-1. The Eagles, Cowboys, Falcons, Niners, Packers, and Saints are all 2-2. Which of these division leading teams right now are a contender? And if you had to pick one, which is a pretender? And then who is taking their place?
Man, I mean, just from watching the games, it's kind of tough to say that any of them are like a true pretender.
Ooh, I thought you were gonna say a true contender.
Nah,
Talk to me, Terry.
Like just straight up pretender though. Like because Seattle's actually a decent team. I'm not gonna say like they're not a pretender at all. Washington possibly, but the Eagles look so fucking bad. You know what I'm saying? So they might contend because the Cowboys also kind of look out of flux. I don't really know what's going on there. Minnesota, they probably would be the number one contender for me to be like a pretender. Not, let me choose my they'd probably be my number one choice. They'd probably be my number one choice to be like the top pretender of all of them. And then the Bucks look good. I can't even lie about that. They looked bad last week for a little bit, but Baker and Mike Evans have a great fucking, thing going. They look good together, and the defense is solid. So, Vita Vea stopping the run and all that type of shit. So, like, they look good. Falcons got to step it up. All right, but 4-0 Vikes, I got to go with them.
They're the contender. Who's the pretender then?
The pretender's got to be Washington. I got to see more.
Okay,
I got to see more, man, because like. We were going over it. They played Cincinnati, whose defense is horrible. The Giants, whose team is horrible, like I said.
Arizona,
who fucking sucks. And then I forget the other team, but they lost to them. I think it was the Texans, if I'm not mistaken. They lost to the Bucks. My bad. And they lost to them by 17 points. So it's like the Bucks kicked their ass. If I'm being truthful. And that was the game where Jaden Daniels. His stats look great because in that game, he got comfortable because they were down by a lot. So he was like, all right, we're just going to drop back. Tampa's just going to let you throw. And then he was like, oh, this NFL shit's easy. What we're doing out here, guys? Having a good old time. And
I'm
that
down
kind of went on.
3 scores.
Yeah. But for me, Minnesota and then Washington. I don't know. That's tough.
Okay. And then who would be taking Washington's place if they're the pretender from the teams that we're watching? I guess it would just be the Eagles and the Cowboys.
Cowboys for sure for me. I'm just going with one. Cowboys. Eagles look like absolute frauds. They look horrible. The game. If you would have watched the Bucks game last week, I get it. Devontae Smith and AJ Brown were out this game, but there's no excuse for week 3. It was just AJ Brown out, and my man Hurts is out there overthrowing dudes like Richardson. He was out there looking like fucking Zach Wilson. I mean, Hurts, your legs are back, but that arm went away. I don't know what's going on. How many, what was it? He has 27 turnovers in the last 20 games?
Jesus Christ.
The stat that I read?
I didn't see that one.
Yeah. It was since the Super Bowl. They counted it since the Super Bowl, and I think it's been 20 games since then.
Jesus. That'll make Trevor Lawrence blush.
Oh, Trevor Lawrence is blowing his wad looking at that. He's like, oh my God, how do I win this? Oh. Horrible. Hurts. God, dude, it's yeah. That's for me. Who you got?
Okay. I am diametrically opposed to you on this one. So I'm going to pick the exact opposite of what you said.
Go for it, Falcons fan.
For me, the pretenders are the Vikings.
Okay. 4-0?
4-0. I don't believe in it.
Sam Darnold?
He's going to turn back into a pumpkin. You've got
to do it
you got to do it for 15 weeks for me to believe in the last 2 weeks of the season, bro. That's where I'm at with Sam Darnold.
15 weeks. They're going to be 15-0. You'll be like, Sam Darnold's going to regress. He's going to regress to the mean.
Then be in the first round of playoffs. I'll be like, yep, here it comes.
Don't do him like Brock Purdy. You going to treat him like Brock Purdy last year? You're like, I don't know about this guy.
I'm going to treat him way worse than Brock Purdy. I'm going to treat you 10 times worse. And
No,
then the
I'm with
other
you.
reason I think that they're the pretenders in all this is that
Tough
they have the
division.
3-1 Lions right on
Yeah,
their heels.
it's a tough
Bears
division.
are 2-2. The Packers are 2-2.
Yeah.
Like that division is tighter and it's harder than all the other ones that we're looking at
Mhm.
here. So I'm putting them down as my pretenders. In terms of my contenders, and I really hate to say this, I think I have to go with the Bucks.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say no
Yep.
one. You're right, man.
Yep. We're gonna find out about this team tomorrow night. Well, probably tonight when by the time this comes out, when they play the Falcons on Thursday night
Thursday
football,
night. Yep.
for a chance to go top of the NFC South. But so far they've beaten the hell out of some good teams. The offense looks crazy explosive. They
Yeah.
appear not to need to run the ball at any point, and they're content to just let Baker sling it all over the park and have that defense be physical and opportunistic.
Yeah.
The Bucks look like the best team in the NFC South right now, and I can't deny it.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly,
And then
dude.
my team to replace the Vikings would be the
Oh, good.
Lions.
Lions. Okay. No, that makes sense. So no Commanders love and no who was the other team out there? Oh,
The
Seahawks. Seahawks? No?
Seahawks.
You think Seahawks are
Gave
gonna
me
stay
cause for
there?
pause that the first time they played a good offense, they had 42 points hung up on them. That gave me some cause for pause.
That's true. But I mean, the Lions are a tricky team to play with. It's because it's like if you don't stop their run, you're fucked. You're absolutely screwed. And they were just it was so easy for them to play action. They just kept falling for it every single time. So it's tough. But I don't know. I mean, Seattle's well coached. San Francisco's kind of have
Yeah.
some problems out there. I don't,
Yeah, you might be right. Seahawks might actually be the contenders.
they look decent.
You've convinced me. I'm gonna change my pick to the Seahawks. If
Yeah.
only because, like you mentioned, the Niners are banged up and look like
Mhm.
they're just missing their identity. The defense is not playing up to the standard that they've had. The
Yeah.
Rams have been dismantled by injuries, and
Yeah,
nobody on their
that's
whole
tough.
team can stay healthy. And then who's the third team in their division? Oh, the Cardinals,
The
who
Cardinals.
just got boat raced
It's
by the
okay to
fucking
forget about
Commanders.
them. It's fine to forget about them. They really haven't
So
been good
I
in a
think you're
while, so
right.
it's okay.
I think looking at the whole picture, you got to see the Seahawks. I think you're right.
Most likely. They look like I mean, look, man, Baker healthy though? Like it's not like
It's a problem.
I know everybody likes to forget that he took Cleveland to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? And that's very hard to do because I think Cleveland, and I don't even believe in curses. Now I think that shit is absolute bullshit.
He
Your
won
boy
a
Art,
playoff game. He didn't just take him there. He won a game in the playoffs.
and I dead ass think that they're cursed for sure because your boy Art Monk literally moved a franchise in the middle of the night. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know how you can do that. I don't know how that's legal, but he
Yeah.
moved Baltimore to
The
Cleveland.
franchise probably had an abusive ex-boyfriend, and they had to get her out.
Or Cleveland to Baltimore. I don't remember. Whatever it was. They got totally fucked and then they just created the Browns again in like the 90s. And they've
Yeah.
just been shitty since then. They've made the playoffs I think twice since like 91 or 92. So Baker's good, bro. Let's not forget about that. And he's kind of proven it. He was decent last year. And
Yeah.
he's kind of continuing on it. And Mike Evans is a great fucking Hall of Fame receiver. Chris Godwin, really good receiver as well.
Pro Bowl. Yep.
They might
Bucks
be the
look
real
good
deal,
too.
but
We're gonna find
yeah.
out tomorrow night. Let's talk about the AFC now. AFC South, the Texans are winning that division. The
Yep.
AFC North, the Steelers are winning that
3-1.
division. The Bills are in the lead for the AFC East, and the Chiefs are a perfect 4-0 in the AFC West.
Yep.
The teams to watch that I have in the AFC, not nearly as long a list as it is in the NFC. The only ones I have to watch are the Ravens, the Chargers, the Jets, and the Colts if they start Joe Flacco.
The Colts if they start Joe Flacco. I think Richardson's probably going to be out for a little while, man. So
Well, they better hope so if they want to make the playoffs.
he might
Joe
be.
Flacco came in and was like, "Hey, let me show you how an adult goes
Yeah.
about his business. Let me
No,
show
that's-
you what timing routes look like.
That's
Let me show
facts.
you what throwing the ball to my receiver's hands look like."
It's not all about the big throws. That used to be Joe. Now Joe's surgical. I don't know
Yeah.
what happened to Joe. Joe used to be this dude. He used to be Anthony Richardson without the legs. It was like, hey man, I ain't got nothing for you but a couple 70-yard bombs to Jacoby Jones. But other
Hey,
than that,
man. Age, it has a way of slowing down your legs and speeding up your mind, doesn't it?
yeah, I know. Right? He's kind of like Eli Manning. Like on the
I kind of like
two-
this like salt and pepper Joe. You know what I mean? Like,
This dude off the couch, dog. Off the couch. Last year, this shit is crazy. But yeah, man. I mean, AFC is. It's interesting. Like when you go into the season, we're like, "Yep, AFC is way better than the NFC," and now we're sitting here 4 games in. I'm like, "Yeah, AFC is kind of garbage." I ain't gonna lie, bro. Some of these teams look pretty shitty. But ah,
who's your contender? Who's your pretender?
for me, I mean, Bills are contenders, Chiefs are contenders, Steelers are going to be contenders just because their team is well coached and they have a really good defense and they're not turning the ball over. The Texans would be my pretenders only because, well, they look the worst of those teams that are at the top of the division right now, but their division is so shit. I think they're going to get away with it.
They only
But
have the Colts pushing them. That's it.
yeah, so but if I had to choose the number one pretender, I don't think there is one, bro. I don't think there's a pretender.
All
I
right,
think all
my turn. That hold on, let me skip Bayless. Shout out to him since he's out there. I am about to unleash.
go for it.
My pretender in the AFC are the Kansas City Chiefs.
How do I
This
stop
is a
this?
lost season.
How do I stop this recording?
This is a lost season. It's over. They're not going to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
All the people like me who picked them were wrong. They've hit too many injuries. They unless they somehow get Devontae Adams, like I have no idea how you're going to go through the rest of the season into the playoffs with Xavier Worthy as your number one receiver when he's really a gadget guy
What
and
about
just like
Juju?
a big play. Juju was out of the league and was terrible for the last 3 seasons. So,
But it's Patty Mahomes though.
it is, and he's not Superman. He tried, but
He was Superman last year.
yeah.
In a world of what the fuck, how did they win the Super Bowl last year? I mean, come on, bro.
They had an
Rice,
unbelievable defense, and Rashee Rice stepped up.
their defense is good this year. What's the problem with the D this year?
It's good, but it's not the top 3 unit that it was in the past. It's top 10, but you need top 3 to carry Pat Mahomes. The weapons this year, Terry, they're worse than last year.
Maybe.
They're worse than last year. Kelsey's
Maybe.
another year older. Rashee Rice is gone. Hollywood Brown is gone. Juju Smith-Schuster is back to be the number 1 wide receiver. Their running backs are all hurt. They're playing a white guy named Carson Steele who fumbled the ball
they got
twice.
Kareem Hunt.
Yeah,
Kareem Hunt's back.
We'll see
Carson
how long
Steele.
it takes for him to get injured, like he does every fucking season.
Hey, look, Carson, it's time to look at rugby. All right,
Yeah,
my boy.
That's facts. That's a PSA for all white people.
Oh no, but no, look, when your sister plans a wedding on a Sunday, that shows me that your family did not believe that you were going to make the NFL, buddy.
No.
You made it, and right now you're fumbling literally the bag, my boy. You might get cut. Nope, no more fumbles, Carson. I believe in you.
I think the Chiefs have fumbled this season. I think they're the pretenders. I don't think they have what it takes to go to the distance. I think it's too much, too hurt. This would be like if we're like, oh, Matthew Stafford is just going to take the rest of these guys. He's a Super Bowl MVP. He's going to take Demarcus Robinson and Tutu Atwell and all these guys in the Super Bowl. And just because Patrick Mahomes is the best player we've seen in the last 5 years, we're like, oh, he could do it with scrapes and scraps and leaves and chewing gum, holding it all together. He can't. They're dead in the water. The AFC Chiefs are my pretenders.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know, man. He's too smart. He's like Joe Burrow. He knows this though. He knows what he has. I think that turnover streak, it might be done with, dog. I think he knows what he's got. I think the defense is gonna buckle up. They're gonna be clutch. Him and Kelsey gonna dink and dunk it. Kareem Hunt's gonna give him 4.5 yards of carry.
You want to hear a horror? You know what? I don't want to make this prediction. I don't want to make this prediction, so I won't make a prediction. I'll say it as a cautionary tale.
Kareem Hunt, another felony? What?
If I were the Kansas City Chiefs, I would be concerned about keeping Patrick Mahomes healthy for the course of the season.
You think he's going to get sacked too much, or is it going to be on a rushing attempt?
They have no balance. Everything is going to have to be him creating something out of nothing for them to score. They can't
Yeah.
run the ball. All they can do is do gadget shit to Xavier Worthy, throw it deep a whole bunch, do bubble screens, hope something pops. Everyone
Yeah.
else on their roster, it ain't there. And so he's going to have to shoulder an unbelievable load. Oh, and guess what? They've their tackle has led the NFL in penalties and one of the worst tackles in the whole NFL. And Juwan Taylor blocking on his blind side. If I
Yeah.
were the Chiefs, I would be very, very careful about putting too much on Patrick Mahomes and trying to chase something that ain't there. And maybe he ends up suffering a significant injury. I'm
So
concerned about it.
but when you say pretender though, like give me a definition. Are they not going to make the playoffs?
No, it's elastic. I think for this case, when I'm talking about the Chiefs as a pretender, I no longer have them as a chance to win the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl
And coming
contender.
into this season, I thought that they were the favorites. So
Yeah.
for me, that's why I'm calling them a pretender now. In terms of the division, they're going to win the division. They'll make the playoffs. This division sucks ass. Everybody's trash besides the Chiefs. Although the Chargers,
You said something about the Chargers earlier. Yeah, let me hear you say. Come on. What's going on?
Chargers looking a little bit revitalized, looking like they do have the physicality that Jim Harbaugh brings. Quentin Johnson, it was an absolute zero his first year at wide receiver. Now him and Lad McConkey are leading that wide receiver room. Herbert has been a bit hesitant to throw the ball, but he's back, and Taylor Heineke is out of the lineup. They do have some pieces where I could see them ramping up and getting hot at the end of the year. I could see them supplanting the Chiefs, but I had them as a wild card team before the year.
Yeah.
The Chiefs have 2 games up on them now, and it'll probably come down to the last moment. But I think both of them likely make the playoffs, but I don't think the Chiefs have any prospects of winning the whole thing. And for where they were a month ago,
Yeah.
it's a completely different story than what we expected.
Yeah, I mean, I'm there with you, man. But with the evidence of what this guy Mahomes has shown us for over the years, it's hard to say it. I'm gonna believe in him still. He's giving me the evidence, man. It's too much evidence. I think he's in the echelon of
Wait,
Tom
are we
Brady
talking
and
about Mahomes or Deshaun Watson?
Nope.
Too much evidence.
I'm not gonna
He's
touch
got
that.
too much evidence.
I'm not touching it. I'm not
Hold
gonna
on,
touch it.
are you talking about the evidence or the towels that don't fold anymore at Deshaun Watson's house? I'm not touching that neither.
No. Patty showed me he's in the upper echelon. Tom Brady and Patty don't need receivers. Some people don't need them.
Or a running back, or a left tackle, or
They
a
don't
tight
need
end
'em.
who's not 38 years old.
Some people don't need that shit. They're so good they can win without it. It's only been a couple people that have shown that they can do it without greatness around them. And it's been these two dudes. I'm riding with my boy. I had them as my Super Bowl pick just because second-year Rashee Rice, who probably isn't going to play in his third year because he hit someone with his car, is out. And then
Sheesh, that's right.
Travis-
He's probably gonna
yeah.
miss this season and next season.
Who cares?
And then
Who
come back
cares?
like Calvin Ridley, out of rhythm, scared
Get
of
Devontae.
contact.
Get Devontae Adams, man. If they get Devontae, will you change your tune?
Yes. Yeah. If
Okay.
they get
They probably
Devontae, I'll
won't.
change my whole tune.
They probably won't. but
Again,
we'll see
the
how it
Raiders
goes.
would have to be unbelievably retarded to do that. But
They are.
but hey, if the Chiefs are willing to pay more than everyone else, if everyone else is calling the Raiders and saying we'll give you a third, and the Chiefs say go ahead and take the 28th pick in this year's draft,
Mhm.
it would make you listen.
Yeah, they do it. Anybody else?
The teams to watch, I could have chose the Steelers as my pretender because I do think the Ravens will ultimately end up winning that division.
Yeah,
but I
for
really
sure.
just wanted to get my Chiefs take out on wax.
No, that's
to be
that's
honest.
fine. It's not a
The
bad
con- the
take,
con-
honestly.
The contenders are the Texans because their division is horrible and no one's
Yeah.
going to challenge them to win it. So I guess my bubble team that I think is going in is the Ravens. The team who I
Yeah.
think is going to lose out and win the division is the Steelers. Right. But the team that ultimately just had the glass ceiling fall down on them and now the roof is a ceiling of 2 inches above their head is the Chiefs.
Yeah, they're in trouble. I agree with you, but I think they're gonna hold it down. Shout out to the Dolphins. Your season's done. Tua's an IR. Huntley looked okay for a little bit in the first and second quarter, but ultimately they got their shit rocked. Bills, man. Bro. I don't know how but why do they look better than they've looked the last couple of seasons? Like, what the? How, bro? It makes no sense. I mean, I get it because the run game is helping out Josh.
Yep.
That's, of course, like the main reason. But like, is Josh that guy? All this overrated shit. This dude, he looks good.
He looks amazing.
Voted the most overrated player in the league by the players and all this type of
Oh,
shit.
really?
Yeah,
We know
he
why
was
that
voted.
is. We know
He's
why
a
that
beast.
is. We know why that
I
is.
mean, well, one, people do like the slob on his knob. But come on now. Like when he has a good game, everybody's like, "Oh, Josh Allen." I mean, look at him go. He's one of the best players
I
I've ever
mean, Chris
seen.
Collins wears slobs on everyone's knob.
No,
He
no,
was
no,
the
it's not even him. It's like when Josh Allen plays well, he looks absolutely amazing. I get it.
yeah, yeah,
But when he plays bad, my God. I mean,
yeah.
like I said, remember a couple of years ago when I said it? When they played against the Chiefs in that first game of the season, I believe it was what? Was it 2 years
2 years
ago?
ago.
2 years ago. It's his coming out party. He's controlling the league from now on. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. They won the game. He looked amazing. I think he had a rush touchdown as well. The dude, he loves to turn the ball over. Okay. I love him. This year, he's kind of controlling that. If he does, sorry, Sam Darnold. Josh Allen's the MVP. This dude, Josh Allen, man. Fuck, dude. If he's not turning the ball over and they run the ball well, they actually are going to be a team to watch out for, bro. It's
agree.
insane. Their defense sucks right now. He was kind of like rubber bands and chewing gum, holding them together. But if he's gonna be Superman, go for it, my dog. You got it. It's insane.
I agree, man. I agree. Well, I think that's a wrap for this week, my friend. I
That's it.
don't think we have we need to talk about Man City and Barcelona scoring 5 goals
Nah.
against shitty teams in the Champions League.
I hate the new format, not gonna lie. It's just so many fun. Am I tripping or does it seem like it's a lot of games at one time? Or is it
Yes.
always like that and maybe I'm just tripping or something? It just seemed like it was so
too many
games.
fucking games, man.
I
And
was
there's
like,
about to be another international break, isn't there?
yeah, coming up. Because
Oh
they got
my
World Cup
God.
qualifiers. Like, and it's some
Fucking
good
hell.
ones coming up too. Because I think like Brazil and Argentina are playing like Colombia and Chile or some shit.
Ooh.
Like it's actually like some decent games. So
Check the air vents.
whoa, who's that? Yeah, nah, it's crazy, man. Yeah, you see, hey, we're both repping. Y'all, Barcelona played amazingly. But I mean,
By
you
the
played
way,
against-
can you guess who this jersey is? This is my birthday present. My mom got this for me. It's an authentic Barca jersey from
Cold.
1997. I want to say 96.
Coleman?
It is the most hated player in Barcelona's history that my mom got this jersey for me.
Oh man, Rafa Marquez? No, I don't know. I actually have no idea.
Luis Figo, the first player ever to go
Oh, the
from
switcheroo.
Barcelona to Real Madrid.
Wow.
This is
damn.
his last year at Barcelona before he
hilarious.
made the switch.
Dang. It's a nice jersey though. It's
I
dope as shit.
appreciate it. Definitely nobody else in the world has this. All the
Hell
other
no.
Barca fans burnt theirs up 25
Hell
years
no.
ago.
Nah, not at all. You want to give a
So-
shout out to the sponsors before we get out of here?
Yeah, guys. We just spent all this time talking sports, but we didn't really make any money off of it. If you guys do want to make some money off of it, we have an avenue for you, and it's called Leg Up Picks. All right, at leguppicks.com, we're a subscription service. Each month, or excuse me, each day, we give you between 5 and 12 picks that we really love for you to bet on. Anything from overs, unders, first team to score, all types of whatever. Since we started, Terry, we have a 64% hit rate,
Yep.
well above the Vegas zone. We're 65 and 32 with 4 pushes. We're up 51 units since we
Yep.
started tracking it just a month ago. And if you want to take a look of what things have looked like for us in the last 2 weeks, boom, there you go, through the roof.
Exponential.
If you bet it with leg up picks and you put $10 on every single bet that we advise you to put on, you would have made over $5 $150 just in the last month. So if you use the promo code HLS pod and you go to leguppicks.com, we'll give you an entire month free of bets. It's $30 a month after that. We're sure that you're going to pick it up. You would have made almost $600 last month. And that's just if you're making $10 bets. If you're making $100 bets, $50 bets, that's in the thousands. So it pays for itself. Use the promo code HLS pod. Get used to it for a month. Make some money. And we'll promise you'll be back for more.
Yeah, man. Stop going out there and betting willy-nilly. Use Leg Up Sports. What are you doing? That's it. Oh, one more thing before we get out of here. Shout out to everybody in Nashville, man, and in Western North Carolina. I know they're going through some crazy shit right now. The hurricane really wrecked everything going out over there. I know you live kind of near it. You live in Charlotte. You had your roof. Your roof was leaking out there. You didn't have any power, and did you lose internet for like a couple days or something?
Oh yeah. And they kept turning my power back off because they had to fix other people's shit. So it's like my shit got fine, and they kept turning it back off because we got to fix something else over here, and we got to put in 2 new transformers, and we got to put in power lines, and a tree fell here. And I'm like, all right, guys, like, can I just not sit in a dark house with water coming through my ceiling? That's all I want.
Yeah,
but now with Leg Up Picks new winnings, I can afford to fix my ceiling and not have water coming through my roof.
Hey, bet it up, baby, bet it up. But yeah, man, it sucks out there though. Thoughts and prayers. That's all I gotta say, man. We didn't have much here. All I got was a fucking email though from separate note from Google Fiber saying it's gonna take a little longer because they're doing shit out there, and I was like, I don't want to use Zoom. Shout out Zoom though. This shit has been
that's the worst
seamless
news.
connection. I'm not gonna lie.
That's the worst news that I've heard all day. And I just saw videos of Israel bombing Iran and starting World War III.
Come on, man. You gotta stop being outrageous. Stop being crazy, dog. Cut this
North Carolina.
Cut his mic. What is that?
I came dressed to impress, buddy.
I
understood the assignment. North Carolina, continue to stand up.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to our podcast this evening. Thank you. You're far too kind.